Hey, good Friday morning to you. I want to share a passage out of the book of Daniel with you. It's chapter 6. I'll begin in verse 4 and just read about 6 verses. It says, "So the governors and the satraps sought to find some charge against Daniel concerning the kingdom, but they could find no charge or fault, because he was faithful, nor was there any error or fault found in him. Then these men said, We shall not find any charge against this Daniel, unless we find it against him concerning the law of his God. So the governors and the satraps thronged before the king and said thus to him, King Darius, live forever. All the governors of the kingdom, the administrators and satraps, the counselors and advisors, have consulted together to establish a royal statute and to make a firm decree that whoever petitions any god or man for 30 days except you, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions. Now, O king, establish the decree and sign the writing so that it cannot be changed according to the law of the Medes and the Persians, which does not alter. Therefore King Darius signed the written decree. Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went home, and in his upper room, with his windows open toward Jerusalem, he knelt down on his knees 3 times that day, and prayed and gave thanks before his God, as was his custom since early days." I'll stop there, and as we think about the life of Daniel, as we read here in Daniel chapter 6, all the others were enraged against Daniel. He was a foreigner. He wasn't one of them, and yet he lived a righteous life, and the king honored him because of the wisdom God had given him. And so they know the only way they can get at Daniel is dealing with his God and his relationship with his God. So they go to the king, and they get the king to fall for this thing of pride, of getting people to worship the king. The king signs it, not realizing what he's done. And Daniel continues right on to worship his God as he's done since his early days. I wonder if you and I realize today that there are many who are wicked, who are in opposition to us because of our God. And they work with the powers that be. And the powers that be so often, there are those that are evil, but there are those that are so often that are misled and misguided because of the ones who talk with them and get them to do things that would have them put us in the wrong. And I wonder what we would do. I wonder if we'd be like Daniel. I wonder if we'd dare to be a Daniel. You see, Daniel continued to worship God as he always did. He continued to pray to his God as he always did, knowing that it was against the law. We are told that we should do and we should determine to honor God irregardless of what the law of man is, that we should follow the law of God and God's commands on our hearts. We're living in a day, in a nation, in a time, in a world in which it is such that it's getting closer that you and I, speaking of Jesus, sharing Jesus, living for Jesus, honoring Jesus, is in opposition to the world. And so I would encourage you and I would challenge you to dare to be a Daniel. When you read the rest of chapter 6, you'll find that what happens is Daniel is indeed thrown in the lion's den. He spends the night with the lions. But his God, my God, closed the mouth of the lions, and Daniel is safe. And those that would persecute Daniel, those that would have him thrown into the lion's den, the king, the one who set the law and couldn't change what he had done, has them thrown into the lion's den. You see, our God will protect us. Our God will deliver us. And if he doesn't, he is still God, and we will still honor him. So this day I pray that you would choose to honor God, that you would choose to lift him up, that you would choose to have a relationship with him and honor him. He is the eternal one. I invite you tomorrow. There's a men's breakfast at 8, and we will gather. The ladies will come, and we will have a time as we go out to all of our local schools, and we're going to pray for the children, the students, the administrators at our schools. Westview, we do that because we care for our children. We care for our teachers, our administrators. We care for our community because, as we say at Westview, we're here for you. So come and join us if you'd like to pray. We'll meet at Westview at the gathering place, and then we'll go out from there to the various schools. You have a great day. Know that you're loved, and God bless.